What's going on? It's your man Jose, aka the Dominican Dream, alongside my man
The Maniac.
for the boxing roundtable, and we are ready to talk boxing. Also, my man Rafael, we all live
RP.
from NYC. Sean, man, listen. Usually I do the intro, and I will this time. I'm gonna keep it real short. I know you're really passionate on this subject, and you trying to cook. You trying to let them have it, man. Lamont Roach, or let me say Gervonta Tank Davis, pound for pound fighter, so-called pound for pound fighter, very talented fighter, elite fighter, great talent, explosive fighter, versus Lamont Roach, who we know as diehard boxing fans, we've seen him fight before. Decent fighter at best, but a lot of casuals that are maybe this is one of the first boxing videos, they're gonna be like, "Who?" Anyway, Sean, talk to us, man.
Listen, man. Um, this is what I have to say. First of all, anybody, I'm gonna be very clear. Anybody mentioning that this is a good fight, you out your damn mind. This is not a great fight. I don't want to hear that they had history in the amateurs and they were good fights and they both from the DMV and that is no story. I don't care about stories. I'm caring about talent versus talent, elite versus elite, right? Tank that this is what bothers me. We know, just like Jose mentioned, this is no knock on Tank as a fighter. We know he's a beast. We know he's talented. He's explosive. The hardest puncher in boxing. A top 10 pound for pound fighter. No one is, debating that part about Tank. We're talking about this fight. How? Why? You guys cry? Why you want him to go to 140? You say you don't feel comfortable. Dare to be great. You 30 years old, fam. Tank hasn't even fought a world champion in his own division that he's been in there about 5+ years. Let that sink in. He hasn't fought a champion at lightweight since he's been there. So now how dare we dare Tank to be great to go to 140, a division he's fought at and won by stoppage. But you expect me to be happy that he's bringing up a guy 5 pounds, but he can't go up 5 pounds. And you're calling us casuals because we're not accepting that trash? Bro, it's trash. It's trash. It's trash. It's trash. One of the biggest mismatches of all year between the top elite fighter. That is bad. Tank, at this point in his career, his resume is solid. He has solid fighters on there. Nothing great. He hasn't even have a legacy fight yet. So how great is Tank really? We don't know because he's not getting in there. And if he's not trying to fight a fight at a disadvantage, he's bringing them up because we saw it with Hector Garcia. Now we see it with Roach. He fought a small Santa Cruz at 130, made him go up. And we've been giving him passes, and we've been giving him passes. All right, cool Tank. All right, cool Tank. But enough is enough, man. This is horrible. He needs to get crucified for this because if this was Shakur Stevenson, guess what will be happening? We'll be cooking Shakur like we did. And we cook Canelo for Balanga, so I don't want to hear nobody acting like this is, because you guys are Spanish. Shut the fuck up. Use my language. That shit got nothing to do with race, bro. We cook everybody. Everything. Jose, he done killed Canelo a million times. So this shit got nothing to do with race. This shit has everything to do with quality. And this is not quality. And this is what we demand. And the problem with the sport of boxing, that doesn't grow because a lot of it's the fans that accept this foolishness. This is straight trash, man. How dare boxing fans accept this and talking about you a casual if you don't think this is a good fight? We don't even know if he's the best fighter at 130. Does he beat Navarrete, Roach? Does he beat Conceição? Does he even beat Anthony Kakashi? Not saying he can't, but we don't know.
He barely beat Hector Luis Garcia because Hector Luis Garcia took his foot off the gas.
Yes, he fell asleep. You was in
Right.
my house. You came over.
It's one of those things, and not to take credit from a fighter, right? Because we don't want to do that either. But it's one of those fights. We've been watching boxing a long time. I'm old school with it, man. I was born in '86, '80s, '90s, early 2000s. The best boxing in history was '80s and '90s and early 2000s. Look, there is such thing as giving a fight away. That happens, right? In the ring. Sometimes the fighter that has the better ability, the better skill, it's doing better in the fight, takes his foot off the gas. And just like in baseball, basketball, football, sometimes you give the game away. Sometimes. And that's not saying that the other team isn't good, because Lamont Roach is good, but not great. He's an average fighter. Let's call him what he is. He's an average fighter at 130, not even 135. But Hector Luis is a better fighter than that. We see him give Tank a great fight. We've seen him beat up Colbert Hanman's first loss. So we know the kid can fight. We know that he's better than what we saw. Gave the fight away. Credit to Lamont Roach. He wasn't in there to play games, right? He did more than Hector Luis Garcia, beat him. Okay, but by no means is that victory justification to fight Tank Davis. Ralph, what are your thoughts, man?
Yes, as I was telling Maniac earlier on, and you disagree with me in previous lives that we've done before, which is, listen, this is still a Mayweather era, and these are the repercussions that you get out of it because people are clinging on to something which is that old. And at the end of the day, this is what happens when this becomes more of a business than a sport. You have this, we got to protect the cash cow. We got to protect the golden goose. And we're not going to put them against, dangerous opponents because at the end of the day, there's a good risk that he can fight and that'll be the end of our business. Unfortunately, we live in an era where everything is very polarizing. We have a lot of fans that are very cold, have a lot of cultist behaviors. So it's very difficult to actually try to discern what's real and what's not. Actually, Showbiz did a short or a video not too long ago where he was saying how, he catches a lot of flack for criticizing Tank, but the same thing that you guys had mentioned, which is we don't know how great he is the same thing that pretty much goes to everyone's mind because he doesn't go up there and challenges himself. Like Manny Pacquiao was small. Manny Pacquiao was 5'5", 5'6" at best. Even Floyd, which is a short guy, would make fun of him about him needing lifts. Henry Armstrong, which went all the way almost up to heavyweight. One of those guys that was one of the group considered one of the greatest. He was 5'5" and went up there to challenge for like even heavyweights.
Perpetual motion was he was like perpetual motion. I mean, he's like a Henry Pryor, Manny Pacquiao kind of fighter, kind of like that windmill, just perpetual mode, throw a lot of punches.
Muhammad Qawi, 5'6", went up to George Foreman in heavyweight.
Roberto Duran was about 5'7", maybe
5'7", going to light heavyweight. So we've kind of
went up to 160, beat Iron Barkley, and gave Hagler a tremendous fight. Marvin Hagler.
And it's been rumored that Tank has KO guys in sparring, but we'll never know because they keep protecting that golden goose. When things are considered more business than what it is a sport, there's only one group of people that suffer, and is the fans, because you're always going to have that 25-20% of fans that they'll what you can fucking put shit on a plate and they'll say that is the best thing in the world. So it is what it
Caviar,
is.
filet mignon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let me eat. Let me eat, man. Real quick.
Yeah, because I need
Look,
to get back in the kitchen. But go ahead,
Th-
Jose.
this this is look. This is what I think about that fight. First of all, man, I like Tank. I like watching him fight. He's an exciting fighter. I think he's a great fighter, personally, because he does it all. He has all the tools. He has speed. He has power. He has ring IQ. You know what I'm saying? He has good footwork. He has dog, right? He has resolve. You know, but there is an asterisk to that. Who does he have resolve against? Who does he have dog against? And he always has this dog and this resolve against already overmatched opponents who are underdogs going into the fight. Of course, yes, that's partly a testament to how good he is and partly a testament to matchmaking. This is the third fighter, not one, not two, fighter number 3 that he brings up from a lower weight class. He did it, and there may be more, but these are the 3 that come to mind. Leo Santa Cruz, who had already gone up 4 weight classes, went up, took him all the way up to 130. He had never fought there. So you're talking about a guy that came from what? 118, 122, 126, 130. No, probably 115, right? 115, 115, 118, 122, 126, and 130. That was his 5th one. That was his 5th one. Right? And then he opts to fight Hector Luis Garcia, a champion at 130 pounds. Brings him up, is in a tough fight, does manage to stop him. But guess what? He went through it. He went through it against a guy who's coming up from 130 who had just beaten Chris Colbert. Now, it's not only the fact that he's fighting Lamont Roach, who is another 130 pounder who's coming up to 35. And fighting the guy, mind you, that everyone agrees with across the board just about that punches several weight classes above his, because he does, and that's apparent. This motherfucker could knock people out at 140, no problem, and maybe even 147. Right? That's the kind of power Tank got. And if he don't knock you out at 147, it's enough to catch your attention.
Yeah,
in 8-ounce gloves. Yeah. All right. So Lamont Roach is not only the bad part. This is the bad part. There's a fighter who has smoked with him who's been calling him out for years. He was over at Top Rank. He was at 135. He was one of the first people to beat, or the second person to beat Lomachenko clearly. That's Teofimo Lopez. He's been calling out. He's free. Tank has fought at 140 before. He fought Mario Barrios, who's now at 47.
And stopped him. Make that clear.
And stopped him at 140.
Dropped him numerous times.
Dropped him numerous times and stopped him. So he's fought at 140 before. So that's not foreign territory. Okay. Now you got another guy, El Rayo, who Tank wanted to fight. Perfect. That's great. I wouldn't mind that fight. But Rayo moved up to 140 and conquered the title by beating Pitbull at 140. He beat Pitbull more definitively than Tank did.
Facts.
Right? And Tank wants to fight him. I'm okay with that. But this is what I ain't okay with. And this is what Team Rayo wasn't okay with. He wanted to bring him down back to 135. Because he understands, okay, Rayo is a fight. Listen, Tank is going to be favored slightly against Tio. He's going to be favored against Rayo. He's going to be favored against Shakur. He's going to be favored against Haney. And even if he matches Ryan Garcia, rematches him, he's going to be favored against Ryan. But guess what? Tio, Rayo, and Ryan at a higher weight are all fights that are dangerous. All fights that he could lose, particularly Tio and Rayo. So those guys he wouldn't fight at 140. But yet he fought Barrios at 140. So very selective. And you're not an average fighter, Tank. You're a great fighter, right? 2 names. And there's more, but you mentioned Henry Armstrong. You mentioned Manny Pacquiao. I wasn't even gonna mention. I could name Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Ray Leonard, even Roberto Duran. These are all A-side fighters. Just like Tank, much bigger than Tank, because Tank would never do the numbers Oscar did. By himself, he does it. Oscar could have fought me and generated more views than Tank ever has. Right? Oscar was one of the most popular fighters in the history of the sport. One of the most successful fighters in the history of the sport. What did he do? He went up to 160 pounds to fight Bernard Hopkins. I don't care what Hopkins did before that. Oh, Hopkins beat Trinidad. Okay. Still, Hopkins wasn't as big a draw as Oscar was. But Oscar went up to 160, no catch weight, no rehydration, and fought him. He needed to do that shit. He could have said, in fact, he could have told Bernard to come down, and they probably would have did it. I think he suggested it. Bernard said no. But if Oscar would have been the hard line and said, yo, come down and no fight, he probably would have did it for that money.
You wasn't going to say no to Oscar. If Oscar said come down, he was going to come down.
Look, and he didn't do that because he dared to be great. He chased greatness. That was his mentality.
That was that era's mentality.
Roberto Duran, a folk hero in Panama. He had a whole country on his back. Shit, he had a whole region on his back, Latin America. You know, I got a friend of mine, and he tells me about how he represented that Latin rebellion of the oppressed governments in Latin American people by the United States and the banana republics they were creating. So they would appoint a president that benefited them, right? The Americans, in order to continue to exploit these Latin countries and get, cheap stuff from them, right? And they would appoint, if there was a president that was going to be good for those people, the United States didn't like that. They wanted to put a president that would benefit more their what they wanted to do with that particular country. So, Roberto Duran was like against that. He was like, he was for the people. So this guy was a hero. He didn't have to go up to fight any of those guys. This man jumped from 135. He fought like one fight in between and then fought Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the best fighters I ever did, and beat him. So I don't want to hear this A-side shit. Sugar Ray Leonard moved up and fought cats. He didn't have to do that. So those guys are bigger than Tank. These guys were heroes. These guys were folk heroes. So if they would dare to be great by moving up, so could Tank. And we're not asking him to go to 154 and fight Terrence Crawford. We're not asking him even to go to 147 and fight Boots. We're not doing that. You conquered 135. There's nothing left there for you. And you're not even fighting 135 pounders. You bringing 130 pounders up to fight you. So that's what Maniac is passionate about. And that's what he's complaining about. And I get it. I understand. I'm going to watch because Tank is on CTV. But come on, dog. I mean, it's y'all ever seen a car hit run over a garbage can? That's what's going on. You know the outcome. So this is nothing to look forward to, and it's a shame, and it really does. There's no story like you said here. There's Ralph. You talked about Canelo and Berlanga probably not doing good. I said it would, and it did because of the magnitude of Canelo.
I actually have some information about that, but
right. But this right here, I know this ain't doing good. Anyway, I know you wanted to go back in the kitchen, Maniac. Go ahead.
I think Ralphie wanted to say something.
Yeah, so
I don't want you to lose your thought.
I saw something on Twitter a couple of days ago how someone mentioned the Tank fan saying that Rayo ducked because he didn't want to come down to 135 and fight Tank, as who's the A side, but then didn't have the same energy when Haney was trying to come down to 135. And you have the Tank fans say, well, no, that's different. So it's just funny how these fan bases, they continue to contradict one another. all the time. But aside from that, regarding the pay-per-view numbers, because that's something that I'm really more interested about. Like if he's really a star, how much money he's gonna do. Because I wherever disclosed the last we had when him and Benavidez were on card. Like those numbers officially were never on this released. The Canelo Berlanga numbers, someone disputed that 650 K number, which is BS. They're saying that the numbers are closer to high threes, maybe not even breaching into the fours. That's what they're saying now. Because remember, it takes time. Like people, I know the guy that released that rumor, and he made it. He made it up. He made it up. He pretty much threw it out of his ass. And mainstream sees something on Twitter and they run with it. But those weren't really official numbers. With this, we'll really have to see whether the numbers are really going to come in. But let me just finish with this. The reason that people were okay with the Hector Garcia fight, it wasn't because it was Hector Garcia and because they haven't seen anything new. It was because the Ryan Garcia fight was already lined up to happen in April.
That is correct.
So people
that
were
is correct.
okay. It's like, it's a tune-up. But with this, people are expecting a big name, and it's like, boy, wait a minute. Like, where does this come from? They could have fought De Los Santos, and that could have been a big fight.
Yeah. So that was going to be exactly. So now I've been looking in these chats. So these are the excuses, guys. Who Tank? But then who's there for Tank to fight? Lomachenko ducked him. Well,
real quick. E from Serrano, my man, said a bunch of B-list fighters. As he put that earlier, but I didn't get to put the comment up as we were talking about the Tank opponents.
Those are
true. They are. That is true.
That's not, and that's the thing. People gotta learn to distinguish what's hate and what's reality, and what people's doing keeping it real,
and what's fact, hate and fact.
So they don't want to, like I said, people are sensitive to the truth. You tell them the truth, they don't want to hear that. For some reason, this is a great fight. It's not. Lomachenko ducked him. Well, Tank ducked him back then. Not necessarily Tank, Mayweather. Mayweather kept Tank away from Lomo when they could have made that fight. I don't want to hear.
Tank himself. I saw a video where Tank himself said he wasn't ready yet.
Tio fought Lomo at a young age, so we don't want to hear that, right? So you can't give me that. All right, Lomo did say, I give you that. Lomo, like I said, it was a strategic duck. You mentioned it before, Dream. Listen,
he wanted to use him. He wanted to use his name. He wanted to use his name.
Off me. Y'all gotta fight each other, man. Enough is enough.
There you go.
So now it's like, okay, Ralphie mentioned that I seen Barrio didn't want to fight him. Why? He's a champion at 140. Why I need to come down? I'm not gonna sell my soul just so you could cripple me and not now. Come up here. You fought up here. Why not? Why they not daring Tank to be great? You understand? Oh, Tank's fought already in 4 weight classes. He's 30. And who's he fought? What legacy fight? He already got a legacy fight with Lomo. You can even add another legacy fight with Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor was lineal champion.
Undefeated.
He was undisputed, right? So
undefeated.
We could Haney, which he dropped. At least Haney fought Lomo, right? So Haney got a better resume than Tank.
That's crazy.
That's
and he's not better than Tank by no means.
Absolutely not. And I said it. Anybody from 135 to 140, I'm favoring Tank. Bro, now you're gonna bring a 130 up, bro. This shit is not even a fight.
Nah,
and then but again, but who is supposed to fight? De Los Santos. Rumor is that De Los Santos is hurt. Where? No one show me proof. I don't see no articles where De Los Santos or his team is saying, yeah, listen, we're hurt. I'm not saying people are lying. I just haven't seen it. Okay, cool. So go into one of these other 135 pounders. One of these contenders. There's somebody there. You're going to bring up 130 pounders. So now we're stuck with this right, with this fight. And like you said, I watch every fight. Of course, I'm gonna watch the fight, and I will encourage people to buy the fight because I'm not a hater. I want the sport to progress. But listen, after a while, you can't give me a McDonald's cheeseburger and telling me like, yo, this is the finest of the finest, bro. This shit is McDonald's, bro. I know what this shit is. It's a regular nasty cheeseburger. So that's what they trying to serve you. They trying to serve you McDonald's food and telling you some gourmet high-end cheeseburger. Nah, man, absolutely not. So I'm tired of it already because it's not only Tank, it's every fighter that these people are in love with. And it's this new generation of fans, right? Because if this was Haney, niggas would be cooking Haney right now. Flaming Haney. But Tank, oh no, not Tank. Don't you dare criticize Tank. Nah, man, listen. We got love for Tank. That's why I'm upset. Because he's a phenomenal fighter. By this fight, he should be going on his second to third legacy fight already. He hasn't even had one, and he's 30. When he's gonna have it? When these fighters already washed up. Oh, you see, look what he did to him. 3 years later, 3 years late. Nah, it was supposed to happen back then. They protected him, and people gotta be real. And that showbiz you talking about, Ralphie, I know I had sent it to Jose. I really. You know, his takes, I don't really mess with him, but he made a lot of sense. And I'm not even talking about the hype part. The other stuff, the defending of this foolishness needs to stop already. Because now, once Shakur do this or the next fighter, them same fans are going to be cooking that same fighter. And they're going to be like, no, but Tank is different. Why is he different? Because you're just a fan of his? Nah, man, enough is enough. This shit is trash.
Real quick to a point. Hey, listen, hey, you're right, absolutely right. I'm gonna make a point at the end of the video, which is coming soon. Ralphie made a point, and which is very interesting and very applicable to this situation. If this would be tolerable, I wouldn't even say acceptable. I would say tolerable. If he had a for sure fight lined up early next year with Shakur Stevenson. People be like, all right, it's a stay busy. Or Tio, it's a stay busy fight. We're going to get the fight next that everybody wants. Shit, I'll watch this fight. Let me see what Tank got. You know, because I just saw what Shakur had with the last guy he just fought recently. So, all right, let's see it. But that's not the case. We don't see the plan. We don't see it. We can't back up and see the master plan here behind this particular decision to fight Lamont Roach. Again, if he was fighting, even if he was rematching Garcia next, if he was fighting Tio next, but definitely if he was fighting Shakur, the fight everybody wants at 135 pounds. They're both still at 135. They both undefeated. They both got a little bit of smoke between each other. Everybody wants to see that fight. If that was for sure lined up next, bro, more people will watch it and we would accept this. We'd be like, all right, cool. All right, we'll watch, Tank do a little sparring match with Lamont Roach, knock his ass out. Tank is going to carry him, man, to whatever round he wants to. Tank can end this in 3 to 4. Tank can end this in 3 to 4. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I told Maniac agree with me. I was the only one that predicted Joshua with the Dubois would knock out Joshua. I told you Canelo wasn't gonna knock Berlanga out. I told y'all Crawford wasn't gonna knock Madrimov out. Yeah, we not only break boxing down here, we tell you who's gonna win and how. Sometimes we're wrong. For the most part, we ain't. Because we break down boxing thoroughly. Tank can end this fight in 3 or 4 rounds. He probably gonna end it in 6 and 7. He gonna play with his food a little bit. He's like a cat, and he plays with his food not in the sense of like, yo, Tank, what are you doing? No, he literally plays with his food. It's like a cat plays with a mouse, because he knows he can kill him at any time. And that's what he's gonna do with this kid. He's gonna give the fans a couple rounds, stuff to ooh and ah, make him miss, make him pay, and then bang.
Correct. And
so
Just real
let
quick,
me.
Ralphie, before I let you cook, another thing, right? Because I already know the comments. Tio, apparently he has some issue with Top Rank. So that's gonna be another thing you're gonna see in the comments. Remember, Rayo already ducked Tank because he didn't want to go to 135. Liam Paro, he's fighting Richardson Hitchens, right? But at 140, you got another the last champion, Alberto Puello. Why not? I'd rather see that than Lamont Roach because I know Puello could give Tank some problems based on that weight division and Puello's length and the way he boxes, and it's for a belt. I would have take that. No one mentions Puello though. Oh, and again, is why you want him to go up for? He said he's not comfortable. Now it ain't that it's not that he's not comfortable. It's that he understands the risk is larger up there. So he'd rather not really deal with that.
And
And this
again, there's people that said recently on other lives that we've been on Instagram and all that. Yo, well, who do you favor against Tank? Who do you favor against Tank anyway? Tank gonna beat everybody anyway. So now, well, we can favor Tank against people, but yo, make no mistake about it. Rayo Valenzuela and Teofimo Lopez are two fighters that could definitely win a fight against Tank. And I'm not talking about by decision. No, these guys could crack. These guys could box and crack. They're athletic. They got heart. They got a chin. They got skill. Those are good fights, man. Especially, look, T.O. and Tank is like looking in the mirror. Except one is southpaw, one isn't. They're both tremendously quick. They got those fast twitch muscles. Athletic. They both, inner city guys, right? One is Hispanic, the other one is black. They both got power, right? They both could take a punch. They both got dog. They both kind of stubborn at times, right? Because of that dog. Bro, that's a super fight. That's a mega fight. Tio been talking mad shit. Tio been talking mad shit anyway, right? So that'll even add more flame to this. So don't tell me that this fight that he's gonna beat all those guys anyway. No, wait a minute. Those fights are competitive, and to your point right now, Sean, because those fights are competitive and are like, you know what, Tank could lose to one of those guys, and those guys aren't as big as Tank, so we're not gonna take that risk business wise, because we milking this cow and we could get nicked off. Let's not do that, and that's not respectable. It's not respect. Not if Tank was if they were building up Tank still, we would understand. But they ain't building up Tank. Tank already has had the number one spot there for several years. So now it is his duty to collect all the smoke.
Bro,
So
we go ahead, Ralphie.
But let's wrap it up soon, though, man. Make your point, Ralphie.
Like 10 more minutes and we out of here.
Now,
it's funny because 135 at one point was the most loaded and stacked division in boxing. You had Teofimo, you had Haney, you had Loma, you had Ryan, you had you can throw in the De Los Santos if you want at that time.
I think your screen is frozen. I think, Ralph.
But we can hear
why.
Right.
You had Jermaine, which to me, that's one of my favorite fighters. He's pretty much an unknown, Jermaine Ortiz. And I vividly remember right after the Rolly fight, after he knocked him out, he told Jim Gray that the Glock was ready to go. It was unlocked. He was ready to go against anyone. Since then, we've had Hector Luis Garcia, Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, and Lamont Roach. Think about that.
And Ryan at a disadvantage. Let's be clear there. We have to add that in there. So
I mean, for any fan in there knew that Ryan was not going to win that fight.
No,
like most fans looked at it as, like he's a guy with a star power name, the pretty boy that he's gonna get his ass whooped once he goes in there with Tank. But it was a big fight, but not because of Ryan's skills. you know. So at the end of
Yeah.
the day, with that said, it's just that it's pretty embarrassing because that kind of projects the state of boxing in today's age.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, and just real my last words, man. I pretty much said what I had to say, man. I just want to say this to the fans, not only the Tank Colt fans. I'm talking about in general. When it comes to any fighter, these dudes is cults. This, like you said, Ralphie, is a cult following because anything they do, it's okay. We have to stop that. Y'all want this sport to grow? Y'all probably the same ones that saying Turkey Al Sheikh is bad for boxing as well because he wants to make the best fights. So listen, man, if you a hardcore fan and you're for the sport of boxing, we cannot accept fights like this, and it needs to be ridiculed, bro. It's okay. We know Tank is that dude. But listen, this doesn't fly. It's not a tough fight. It's not a good fight. I don't care about their amateur history. I don't care if they from the DMV. This is gonna be
Bro, it's
easy
because
work.
he's that dude that we slam in this fight. That dude ain't
Yes.
supposed to be fighting him right now and wasted time out of his prime.
Easy
You know,
work.
you
Easy. How's it gonna be a good fight and nobody's gonna even pick Roach to win this fight? But it's a tough
you know
whatever.
what would have been a bigger fight and probably wouldn't have been as dangerous, but it would have actually captivated the audience's imagination. That would have matched that DNV area fight. Gary Russell Jr.
Gary Russell.
versus
Yeah.
versus
And
Tank. That would have been a really good fight, but
Whoa,
they
whoa, whoa,
didn't
whoa,
want to
whoa,
work.
whoa, whoa, wait. You talking about the little Russell?
No, the one that Puello just beat.
No, because I think he's talking about Gary
No,
Russell
no,
Jr.
I'm
No,
talking about
Antoine.
Gary. Yeah, no, I'm talking
Antoine.
about Gary. I'm talking about the little one,
Oh, you're
because
talking
he's
about the
older.
brother,
Nah,
Junior.
Yeah, yeah.
he's too small. Too small.
But he's been
Too
fighting at
small.
130. He's been fighting at 135.
Has he?
Nah, I
Yeah.
don't
Because
think
he
so.
fought
No, I don't think
Mixayo.
so.
He fought the Filipino Mixayo, Mark Mixayo. He lost. I think
Let
that
me
was.
see.
I don't think that was a
Yeah, but
lightweight.
Nah,
he had a
I think that
great
was one. I
he
think that was 126, man. That was 126. But anyway,
nah, no.
Yeah.
He has been fighting on 135.
yeah, I don't know about that. But still, even if he has, yeah, I don't know. Maybe
And
Gary
he
Antoine Russell. Gary Antoine
and
is acceptable.
he's 5'4". He's 5'4" and a half. His last fight
That's what I'm
was
saying. He's a small dude. He's significantly smaller than Tank.
by half
Yeah.
an inch.
No,
Tank
no,
is
but
5'5".
yeah, but I mean, physically, when you look at him, he's his frame. Tank is called Tank for a reason. He looks like a tank. Man. He's a
He's a
solid dude at that
he's
weight.
a full-fledged lightweight. So, oh, Tank is a small lightweight. Dude can't make 130. Remember Francesca? He couldn't make weight against Francesca at 130. He couldn't make weight with Gamboa neither. So people got to stop. He's a full-fledged lightweight that could fight at 140. Comfortably.
Absolutely,
Stop it.
easy.
But
Anyway,
listen,
guys,
tomorrow, tune in. We'll be breaking down the Bevo Better Be fight and who we feel going to win.
yeah, absolutely, man. I just want to try to make these videos, right, right to the point, man. Because that's what people like. Anyway, you guys already know, man. Share, like, subscribe. The boxing
Yeah, Ralphie.
roundtable, and tune in also. Again, like Sean said, the preview breakdown better be a Bevo, and also the post fight to that.
The immediate. Yes, Russell fought at 126, Ralphie. Now you telling him to go up 2 weight
Against
classes?
Yeah,
let me
nah.
see.
Featherweight against Mixayo.
Yeah, he's a small dude. Yeah, he's 120.
He
One,
didn't
now,
he didn't fight at 130 his last
No,
fight?
126. I just checked. He
nah.
lost.
Now his
Majority at
brother.
126.
Yeah, his
He
brother.
lost 'cause
His
I think he lost because he had a hurt shoulder, and it was a tight fight. But he's
yeah.
older, it just he can sell the fight. That's all I'm saying. No,
Man, it's not. He's too. He's older and smaller, so I'm good. Anyway, I think Sean got off. I think maybe his phone died or something. Anyway, man, great show, man, and we'll be back, man. We'll be back tomorrow for Better BF Bevo. You guys already know. Share, like, and subscribe.
later, brother.